Hey, it's Coach with Tactical Hyve, and today I'm just kind of go over the slings. There's a bunch of different ways to run a sling, and I'm just going to go over the different ways I've done it in my career right after this. Hey, today's video is brought to you by Vedder Holsters. They're a good American company that makes a good quality holster with a lot of different choices. So check them out in the description below, and let's get to the video. Okay, so way back in the old days, you had your 2-point sling that was not adjustable, and it just basically hung off your gun. Now this sling was, we patrolled with it like this. It was not around, wasn't hooked up to anything initially. My first deployment, that's how the old guys did it, the Vietnam guys did it, and I'm like, okay, cool, that's how you do it. The only thing, the reason you'd have a sling on here is if I needed to use two hands for something, I either throw it on my shoulder, or if it was a little bit longer, I could throw it over my head, for fast roping or any kind of activity that you needed two hands with. That's all we used it for. After a while, guys would start running like a beaner on their kit, and they would run this through the beaner. So just in case you got hit or whatever, you went down, your gun stayed with you. But honestly, that's all we ever used the a 2-point sling for. Now, if you want to stabilize for shooting, you can push your hand through here, wrap it around, and then lock it in. And then when it's up on your shoulder, this kind of locks everything in and makes it a little more steady. Okay, and you would, this one's not adjusted perfectly for that, but it gives you a little bit more, gives you a steadier sight picture, steadier body position if you want to use this. So did that for a while, and then when we started doing CQB with the MP5s, we started with that 3-point sling, and people kind of got annoyed with that fairly quickly. It was a decent sling, but it was too complex, We like to keep things simple. So as we move on, we went to a single point. And this is a single point, non-adjustable. It's basically, you throw this over your kit, over your head, you want it to hang. So with my kit on, this would hang right about at my my belt level with the pistol grip. Okay, and the idea was when you go to transition, you just bring the gun down here, and then transition to your pistol. Okay, it's really effective for if you're going to change shoulders. So if I'm here and I want to go to my other shoulder, I just mount it. It doesn't get in the way, it doesn't hang me up. Another advantage you might have here is this is nice and clear for magazine changes. There's nothing in the way. All right, so if I'm attached up here or even here, this is going to be a snag hazard, and you want to be as slick as you possibly could. And so this is how I ran with it for years, and I never had any issue. Now, guys are like, oh yeah, you're going to hurt yourself when you transition. Well, no, if I'm shooting here and I get a click instead of a bang, I'm bringing the gun to right about here and letting it go. Okay, it's going to go straight down. If I let it go from right here, it's going to pendulum right into some sensitive areas that maybe I don't want hit with a hammer. Right, so if I'm here, I get a click instead of a bang, I'll bring it here, drop it, and then do my draw. That's my transition. Okay, now the downside to this is that it flops around. Okay, you really can't do much about it. If you've got to handle prisoners or whatever, you would require. We had a retention. It was a little hook deal that went on your kit, and would kind of hold it in here, and it was a pain in the ass. But it would lock it in and it would keep you back here, if you had to use both hands. Not ideal. So nowadays, guys are still using this. Some guys have gone back to a modified version of that one. What I tell guys, if you have something like this here, okay, number one, what this does, having this little elastic retaining band back here, if you have a single point sling, you can gather up all your sling back here on the stock, okay? That way it's out of the way. You want to take this apart, or there's nothing hanging up here, right? So if you're going to store this in a vehicle and you don't want your rifle attached to you in the damn vehicle, the sling should be folded as it was, locked down, so that when you get out, it's not going to get hung up on stuff, okay? So that was number one. Now, we got this set up. This is kind of a version of a VTAC sling, so it's got a little adjustment right here. So now, I can start off with single point. Just throw this over my head. This will work just fine. Now, if I want to go to a dual point, which has its advantages, I can unclip. So I've got this set up so I have a loop on this end and a clip on this end. So I can unclip from this adapter here and go to my D-ring there. Now I've got a 2-position sling. It's kind of what I would call the best of both worlds, because it still stays fairly out of the way if I want to, switch shoulders, okay? Here, depending on what I'm going to do with my magazines, if I got my kit on here, I might have to reach around it in order to get my fresh mag to get in there. Okay, so that's a slight disadvantage. But I can swim through it, just hang it here like this, so it becomes kind of a single double, okay? I think this is called Israeli style. And they just hang around your neck, and then when you go to transition, it's here. And it kind of stays pretty much there because you got 2 points. I mean, you can swim your arm through here, get it behind you, and zip this up. And now you've got, my gun is fairly secure on my back. I can move around. I could wrestle with somebody if I had to. So you have that. So there's a couple of different ways that you can work this. All right. So keeping it stored, I keep them stored locked into the adapter back here, and then just fold it up on this side underneath that elastic retaining band. It'll hold you right there. Okay, so this can sit beside me in a car. I can drive, and then if I got to get out and pull the gun with me, it's right here. And then it's easy enough to deploy. Just grab this bunch here, pull it out, throw it over your head, and at least you've got something that'll keep your gun with you as you move around. Okay, now, this isn't the only way to run a sling. These are just different ways that I've done it throughout my career. And it's kind of, going from the Vietnam guys, and we start figuring stuff out. And now there's other Blue Force Gear and SNS. They make some really good slings that are adjustable, and there's a lot of stuff out there that you can work with. So anyway, guys, this is just a quick look. I've got some questions about using slings, and people making comments about, oh, that it's going to hurt you, all that stuff. I'm like, dude, okay, did it for a long time. Never suffered any permanent damage from anything that I did. Anyway, guys, so if you like this content, like, subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell, okay? You want to be notified when something new comes out, right? And hell, leave me some comments.